Part 1, I can't talk about this. I don't know how. Part 2, this is a bad idea. I shouldn't be making this video. No one has ever asked me to talk about this. And in exchange, I've never talked to people about this. So, I mean, that's been working out pretty well for me so far. And furthermore, I'm actually convinced that this is going to harm my ability to like get a job in the future. Because I think eventually if like an employer sees this video, they'll be like, oh, I don't want a sad sack working for me. I want a happy boy filled with sunshine. And that's not me. And let's not even talk about the timing of me making this video. I've been writing the script for a year, and now I'm known as a political person, as like political commentator who has like a 10,000 layers of irony in front of him and what he's saying, and now there's 0 layers of irony. I'm very exposed and vulnerable, and it's probably very, very off-brand. But you know what? I never really wanted to fucking have a brand. Part 3. But I'm lying. I just want to let everybody know before I begin. I'm playing a character, okay? This is all fake. It's a thought experiment. I'm an actor, I am playing a role, and I expect you to treat me as an actor playing a role, okay? I don't want any of this direct correlation between me and my actual self. This is a role. I play characters on the internet. That's my thing. It's what I've done before. It's what I'm gonna do again, okay? It's a character. Everything I'm about to say is a character, not me, just a character, okay? Okay, good. I have to tell you this because now I have to tell you this. I wanted to die. Part 4. Also, I'm gonna be dressed as a clown sometimes. Cause you know, we're cool, we're hip. Let's have some fun with it. Part 5. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. I've watched other people's videos on this subject and they're all fucking dumb. They all do it very poorly. They always open up and talk about their feelings and cry unironically on camera and fuck off. Like, honestly, that's boring and not entertaining television. YouTube television. I'm gonna make this one special for the neurotypicals in the audience who think that what I'm talking about is what happens when your dog dies and you feel bad for a week. Like, that's the kind of sadness I'm trying to express here. I'm gonna make this one for the people who cringe every time they hear someone talk about their feelings. This one's for the Palorinos in the audience who bring up a different topic whenever someone tries to talk about this stuff. This one's for you, buddy. Part 6, what I mean. What do I mean by want and what do I mean by die? Well, I don't want to die, not right now. Sometimes I say I want to die, and when I say it, I do mean it, at least for the duration of me saying it. And by die, I don't really mean die. I mean more along the lines, I want to stop existing. I didn't sign up for this shit. Check please, I'm out. So when I say I want to die, I do mean it, but I only mean it for a second. So I only say it for a second. This video isn't about death. It's about the want. Part 7, a turn-based battle. It's tiring. It's an option that's always on your mind, but it's one that you never pick. It's like you're playing a turn-based strategy game, right? And you've got all your options. You've got fight and items and magic and flee, but then the last option is just give up. And you never actually are going to use the give up option because it's not helpful. I mean, you can flee and fight another day. You can use magic, you can use items, you can fight, but just giving up isn't helpful. But it's an option, you know? It's like it's there. It's like the 5th option on a list, and you're like, oh, I'm never going to fucking choose this option. Why is it here? And then you think to yourself, well, maybe it's there because I'm going to pick the option. Maybe I'm going to choose to give up. And that would be bad, and I wouldn't want to do that, but it's there. And it's tiring because you always have to be like, okay, well, there's a 5th option there, and that option is not an option I'm ever going to pick, but it is an option, and that's kind of the mental loop that, you know, you can be in. And sometimes you hover over the option, and you don't press A, but you kind of want to. Whoops. I'm playing a character. Part 8. But there's children starving. I live in a first world country, and as a result, all of my problems are completely irrelevant. I turn the pipes on, water comes out. Every single one of my problems is irrelevant because I'm not currently starving to death in some African country. I should be so grateful and happy for what I have, but for some reason, I'm not. It's like I can't just close my eyes and imagine a starving African child, emaciated on the ground, their ribs fucking poking out of their body, and just be happy and grateful, because that's not me. Why can't I just imagine a starving African child and be fucking happy? Part 9, why we hide it. I don't know if talking about my feelings has actually helped it at all. That's the thing, right? They tell you, oh yeah, talk about your feelings, you'll feel better. Sometimes I talk about my feelings and feel worse. Much worse. Some people are actively hostile towards your feelings, but people won't tell you that now, will they? Every rock bottom I've ever been at has felt worse than any rock bottom I've felt before that. And when I'm at rock bottom, I think to myself, if I feel so bad right now, and I have been talking about it, then why do I feel this bad? Why haven't I gotten any better? Don't use the D word. You may have noticed that I'm using terms like sad and very sad to describe something that might more accurately be summed up in a single word. I'm being very careful not to use that word. You know what word I'm talking about, the D word. Because when you use the D word, what do you mean? Do you mean the mental illness? Do you mean the state of feeling most people go into at some points in their life? Because everybody is the D word sometimes, but not everybody has the D word. Like, not everybody has it a part of themselves, their identity. And that's why I'm careful not to use it, so that doesn't become my identity. And that's why I don't think anyone should use the D word ever. I'm depressed. There's the D word. When someone says, I am depressed, what does that mean? What does that really mean? Does it mean that they went and they saw a doctor and a doctor prescribed them with depression? Or does that mean that they think that they themselves have depression? And the phrase, I am depressed, maybe I'm overthinking this, but the whole I am kind of rubs me the wrong way. I am, this is me, that's my identity, a label. I don't really like labels that much, just arbitrarily. I just, you know, it doesn't really suit me. But I also think at the same time, simultaneously, that's a fucking dumb reason to avoid saying I'm depressed. Just because it's like, people know what you mean when you say I'm depressed, and you have depression, either diagnosed or self-diagnosed, which is problematic, right? Right, must be. Like, that's not a thing that you should be doing, self-diagnosing, saying I'm depressed. There's no issue with it, but to me, there's no objective issue with it. It's to me subjectively. The issue with it is like, some people make depression their identity, and I don't want that to be me, because if I do that, it means totally, like, it just eats me, devours me, I'm fucking food for it. And when I say I'm depressed, that's me, that's part of my identity. I don't want it to be a part of my identity. Just making this video is making it a part of my identity. You realize that? Like, this isn't a good video to make, mainly for that reason. Like, that's the number one reason I didn't mention in the beginning, but I'm gonna go ahead and mention it now. The fact that making this video tied to me, that's bullshit, because now that's me, I am it, and it is me. And that's scary, I don't want that to happen, but it's happening, and it's happening more and more times. Tell me about your feelings.
Talk to me about it. I'm here, I'm listening. Let me hear what you have to say. Oh, well actually, I mean, not right now, I am kind of busy right now. Honestly, I'm not really your therapist.
Okay, you're oversharing. Go see a therapist, please.
Oh, you can't afford a therapist? Well, listen, maybe you should get a job. Oh, you don't have a job and that's why you need a therapist. Well, listen, I'm not in charge of all of your problems, okay?
Just a quick reminder, I'm playing a character. Don't believe anything I'm saying. This is just a quick reminder, I'm a character. I play characters on the internet. Right now, I am playing a character for dramatic effect. Some part of the character is rooted in reality, yes, but I'm exaggerating it so much that it doesn't even resemble myself. Most of what I'm saying is a lie, it's false, it's wrong. Employers, please hire me. I'm a happy boy. I'm a happy boy filled with sunshine. Part 14. This is your fault, you piece of shit. I mean, it is my fault. Nobody forced this on me. No evil spirit has possessed me. And I'm old enough so that I can't blame, being born a certain way, being born overly neurotic. I've had the time to fix that about myself. So, yeah, it's my fault. Part 15, but it's not my fault. I've been doing my best. I really have. I've done my work and research on the subject. I've talked about it, I've tried a lot of different things, and I haven't gotten anywhere, and I don't know what more I can do to make this feel okay for me.
Part 16, you kids these days
talk about your feelings like they mean something. You should just be like me and die of a stress-induced heart attack at the age of 35 because that's just the way you do it.
I'm putting on this voice to distance myself from the fact that I unironically somewhat believe what I'm saying. Doobly-doo, I'm an old man.
Part 17. The title of this video is in past tense because I'm recounting a previous time in my life. I know I'm using a lot of present tense stuff. This is all in the past. This was a tough period of my life, and I'm making this video to say, you can get over it. Like, it seems difficult, but there is a bright light no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through at the end of the tunnel. And I believe that, I mean, based off my own experience, things have been getting better. And I think things will get better for you. You just have to believe. You just have to try. And with enough hard work and determination, you can beat depression. You don't have to let it become you. I'm glad. I'm happy. I can honestly say, for the first time in a long time, I want to live. And that is a feeling unlike any other. Part 18, just kidding. Gotcha. Gotcha, idiot. Part 19, the title. I would have really liked to have ended the video there. That would have been like an appropriate place to just call it quits. The title's not actually in past tense. There's parentheses around the ED because it's kind of like ambiguous what it is, if it is real or if it's not. Part 20, what depression gives you. Part 21, don't fall in love with depression. I don't like talking about depression. I don't like giving it energy. I gave it a decent amount of energy already, and I don't really want to give it much more. And it's not like you give it energy and it teaches you something. Depression doesn't give you anything. Depression just takes. I guess it did teach me one thing, and that is, don't fall in love with depression. Do not make friends with your depression. Do not shake hands with your depression. Do not subsist off a diet of depression. You are more than someone who is sick. You are more than someone who is alone. You're not alone. Hi, do not fall in love with your depression. Love is born out of proximity. We fall in love with things because they're close to us, because it's convenient to fall in love with them. We fall in love with things because they've been around us for a while. And things that have been around us for a while must love us because so many things come and go, so many things leave, that the things that stick around, those are the things that have to love us, right? But no, not necessarily. Some things stick around and they just hurt you. Some things stick around and they just take from you. Some things stick around and they don't love you. Depression doesn't love you back. Depression isn't going to give anything to you. It's not going to give you empathy. It's not going to give you a cool, edgy aesthetic. It's just going to make you weaker and sadder and sicker. Don't fall in love with what kills you every day. Don't hold it so close that when someone tries to pry it away, you feel like they're trying to pry away a part of you. Because it's not you. It's a tumor that's growing off of you. It's your cells, but it's not you. You see? They are trying to help you, but you have to want to help yourself. And you can't want to help yourself if you don't think you need help. If you think your problem is your friend, if you think your friend is your identity, it's not your friend, it's not your identity. It's more like a parasite fat with your blood. More like a parasite that's killed everything you love. More like something that's killed you and is wearing your fucking skin, eating you from the inside out. So don't fall in love with it. Don't even shake hands with it. Don't even make eye contact with it when you're passing it on the street. And you can say, I am depressed. Go ahead. But when you do, just remember, you're more than that. Part 23. Fuck off. Taking your feelings seriously is literally what causes depression. Depression is rumination on yourself. Caring about others might be a good start, and to do that, you have to stop talking about yourself and thinking about yourself. This entire video is just rumination on yourself. Go get a real job, leave the house, talk to some friends, and all this angst and anxiety and depression will all just go away, and you'll be okay. Part 24. Don't ask for help. When a man breaks his arm, his first instinct is to yell in distress. This signals to other human beings that he needs help. But when you're in emotional anguish, nobody can help you. All you're doing by asking for help is making the people around you feel bad for you. This is because humans are naturally empathetic. They want to help you, but they can't. So when you keep asking them for help, guess what? They're not going to want to talk to you anymore because you just make them feel bad by talking about it. So your only real option is to shut the fuck up. And that's the lesson here today, folks. Never talk about your feelings. Don't do it. It doesn't help. 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 Part 25. Help. I once walked into my school's clinic and asked to see a therapist. As soon as I signed up to be on the waiting list to see a therapist, I regretted it like right away. So they called me 3 times and I just hung up. Like I didn't even answer the phone the first 2 times, but the 3rd time I accidentally picked up the phone and they were like, we've been trying to get in contact with you. Like we have a spot available and you should come, you should go to the spot. So I did. I went to the spot and I sat down and I just wept for basically 15 minutes. And the therapist said, we can put you on medication. and that might be good for you because you say you have depression, you might have, I don't know, bipolar. Why don't we look into this? Why don't we fix this for you? And I said, yeah, like that sounds good. And I left the therapist's office and I canceled my next appointment with her, and I never saw her again. Part 26, the dark worm. You have a worm in your head and it's eating your brain. And when you tell someone that you have a worm in your head, this is actually how it defends itself. The worm jumps out of your brain and starts and just like rips a part of their brain out and like goes back into yours. So whenever you tell someone about your problems, you're really just ripping out a chunk of their brain, making them feel bad about you needlessly, and then feeding the dark worm that lives inside your head. Sure, maybe you'll tell someone and then they'll rip the dark worm out of your head, but more likely you'll tell someone and you'll just hurt them, and then they won't even be able to help you. Hello?
Are you coming out this weekend?
I can.
I mean, you don't have to. Are you good at downtown? You're happy?
I'm doing some filming right now. I don't know.
Alright, as long as you're good. I'm bringing Van Daniel back tomorrow with some groceries.
Can you pick up some butter? Part 27, identity. By making this video, you've tied yourself irrevocably to your depression. You get that, don't you? The more you whine and complain and talk about your problems instead of solving them, the more you make it a part of your own identity. Before you started talking about your problems, you had problems. Now, you are your problems. You could have chosen to define yourself with anything. Hobbies and sports and films and video games, and you chose to define yourself with what's killing you. Part 28, masculinity. I'm a dude. I got dude friends. I'd say it's fair to say dudes, we're less, emotionally smart than our female compatriots. We're not as good at emotional support. Subconsciously or not, I have associated talking about my feelings with weakness. Admitting weakness is weakness. And as an emotional dude, it makes it, existence a little tougher than it probably needed to be. A little more lonely, because you end up just pretending you're okay. But being a dude, pretending that he's okay, it's kind of nice. Because on some level, everybody else is too. And in that way, you're not alone. You're all pretending. Together.
Part 29. Are you a man? Do you like being manly? Well, try not talking about your feelings. Whoa. With the new Not Talking About Your Feelings, you'll go from beta cuck loser to emotionally mastered Chad overnight. But don't take my word for it. Here's what a customer has to say.
Before I tried not talking about my feelings, I was lonely, anxious, and sad all the time. Now that I've not talked about my feelings at all, I think it's developed into full-blown depression.
So the next time you think about trying therapy or talking to a friend, try bottling it up.
But this bottle is empty.
That's right.
All better. Thanks.
Because remember, you're a man. You don't take nothing from nobody. You solve your problems, you don't whine about them, and you die by suicide at a 3 times greater rate.
Wait, what?
Part 30, I'm not depressed. Everybody experiences depression sometimes. It's normal. Especially as a young man coming into my own in a difficult environment, it makes sense why. Part 30. If I was depressed, would I be able to lie about it with an ironic smile and a sly wink to the audience? I don't think so. Checkmate. And besides, even if I was depressed, the best way to get rid of depression is pretending like you're okay. So either way, I'm doing the right thing. Part 31, pills. Let's say I took a pill.
I've got this gnawing emptiness hiding inside of me.
And let's say it made me go from...
So I swallow my vice and follow the advice of my friends and family.
A sinusoidal graph like this
My mother says, pray to God.
to more of a flat line.
My brother says, get a job.
It's more of a flat line.
My friends say, be happy.
I don't think that would be good for me.
Pop some pills, and then you'll see it
I don't want it.
fade away.
I don't want it in my body.
Fade to gray.
I've been told that pills are sold
My highs just as much as I am my lows.
by devils out to steal your soul.
My lows.
I've been told if you're depressed,
And a pill would take away my identity.
it's best to put your mind at rest and pop some pills, you'll see.
So no pills for me.
You'll be less stressed.
So no pills for me.
And maybe it'd be great to medicate, to feel nothing at all, but I'm too filled with self-hate to think that this isn't my fault. They say, cast aside the sad and pain, turn a few knobs in my brain, and be like what everyone seems like.
Am I sick?
Or is the world sick? Or are we both sick? And I'm the wrong kind of sick to exist. Or maybe this is just a list of things that feel true when I feel like shit. My mother says, pray to God. My brother says, get a job. My friends say, be happy. Pop some pills and then you'll see your world fade to gray.
Part 32. So you are your depression then. You like it. You like being depressed. You think it makes you cool and special and tortured and interesting. You just want to reinforce your shit identity. Soon, that's all anyone will know you for. The person who couldn't be a person. Part 33. Satire. I am a satirist. I do satire. I do comedy. I play characters. And the reason I do this is mostly for ironic purposes. I say the opposite of what I mean in an attempt to draw light to some kind of contradictory nature of whatever I'm satirizing. That being said, sometimes I do satire which I believe on some level. And that satire is confusing to me because I'm not really sure why I'm doing it. I'm really just kind of exploring an idea by saying it out loud, if that makes any sense. Exploring an idea by inhabiting it for a little bit and kind of feeling it out. Because the thing with irony is that it's a corrosive force. It destroys. The reason you satirize something is to destroy it. It's a destructive power. But the thing with being drenched in irony is soon you don't know how to be sincere anymore, and you don't even know if what you're saying is real and what you mean when you say what you say. And if you can't even trust the words coming out of your mouth, then what are you supposed to fucking trust? Part 34, just a quick interjection. Hi, Greg Guevara, out of character here. I know that those last 4 parts got a little heavy, so I'm just here to remind you that I'm playing a character. Employers, I'm a happy boy. I'm filled with sunshine. Part 35, Superposition. The reason the title's like that is it's because I both wanted to die previously, and it's accurate to say that it's not previous. It's like superposition between the two realities, want and wanted, that both are real sometimes. So many aspects of my identity feel like they are simultaneously in two places at once, separate, opposite locations at the same time. And when I observe them, it's like, oh, now I'm this. I'm for the purposes of me looking at it right now, I'm this. But if I look at it again, now it's over here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't really have a coherent identity. I just believe a lot of stuff, and it's all jumbling up in my brain, and there's no framework that's sorting through all the information and making it make sense. It just kind of is all there all at once. My depression's getting worse. My depression's getting better. I want to die. I wanted to die. I'm not depressed. I am depressed. I don't need help. I do need help. I'm in superposition between the two states at all times, and that's why I don't want to talk about depression, because then that's like observing depression, and then that's like one solid having reality, and all of a sudden I look at it, I have depression. So I don't look at it. Depression. I just push it away. Do something. It doesn't exist. I have to go get working out. I don't know what to believe. I don't have a coherent identity. No part of myself is solid and grounded, and it's killing me. Part 36, hope. I think that one day I will look back on this part of my life, and I will think, this was just a thing I had to grow out of. It was a period of time in my life that I was sad, and I was anxious, and I was lonely, but I'm good now. I'm good, and I can honestly say I wanted to die, and know what I mean when I say it. Art. I said at the beginning of this video that I don't know how to talk about it, and that's not true. I have been playing a character, so I have been lying to you, and now I feel like is a good time for me to explain where I was lying. First of all, I do know how to talk about it. I've been talking about it for a very long time, just not regularly. I only can really communicate the information through art. So that's what I've been doing. I also lied when I said I don't have a coherent identity. I have some parts of my identity that are very coherent. I don't really like labels as a means of establishing identity, but I like artist. That's a good label. When I call myself an artist, that sticks. Most labels just kind of slide off me, but that one stuck, and I like it. And I can honestly call myself an artist without hesitation. Some parts of my identity are defined. I do care about some things. I do like some things. I do dislike some things, and I know that I do. And I lied when I told you I didn't know why I was making this video, because I do know why I'm making this video. It's not just to make you feel uncomfortable for 25 minutes. It's because art helped me, and it helps me. Like, present tense helps me, and it's possible to get better. I'm not good, but I'm better, and that's because of art. I've found something that's meaningful to me, and I am pursuing it. And it's not impossible to talk about, even for me. You know, if the only way you can talk about it is through art, then talk about it, you know, in any way you can, because it's lonely having it inside of you and not having anywhere to put it. So I put it in my art. And if you can talk about it, you can help yourself. And I've been talking about it for a while, so I've been helping myself for a while. And the first spoken word poem I ever made about depression was the first piece of art I'd ever made about depression. It was 5 years ago. It was called Warrior, Warrior, and it goes like this. The battle begins when you open your eyes, and continues until you close them at night. Sometimes, not even then, does it end, because these feelings carry on into your dreaming, only for you to wake up, and the battle to begin again. Your enemy is yourself, and also not yourself. See, anxiety is hard to explain. Depression's more than just one bad day, and men in mental illness have never really understood each other anyway, so here's the gist. Your opponent is an invisible force. You can only really fight with metaphors. You're in a sword fight with your own foresight. Every victory hidden from public eye, every wound you take yields an invisible cry. It's a beast you can't kill, but it's one you can fight. And maybe with some words you can soften the bite, because depression is a lion you've been locked in a cage with, and somebody threw away the key. You're in a Roman Colosseum and there's nowhere to flee. The whole world is watching, but nobody's helping, and you're a fighter. It's true, but now you worry, because you're a worrier, but you're a warrior. And you worry, but you fight. So here's my advice. Punch the lion in the mouth. Normally you don't condone violence, but for depression you make an exception. A quick right hook should teach it a lesson, and if it doesn't, let it come back for seconds, because you are a champion. The fact that you're still standing, still here, still alive, proves you have the drive and the tools to survive. With anxiety, life is a racehorse you never wanted to ride, and as you hang on for dear life, you hear something inside say, let go. but you're better than suicide. Mind-addled, every social encounter, an uphill battle, heart beats so fast it's hard to handle. Life bucks and tries to throw you off the saddle, but you grit your teeth and straddle. Hold on tight, not because it's wrong or right, because deep down in your scarred heart, there's a warrior inside. You've been a fighter since birth and never believed in your own worth, but you've got a punch that can shake the earth. I won't say you've won, but you've survived the day. You've beat back depression in your very own way. You've cut a path through the pain and sorrow. Get some rest. You've earned it. Then do the same thing tomorrow.
I don't wanna die. I just tell myself that sometimes, and by sometimes, I mean too many times. When I say I don't wanna die, I mean I do sometimes, but only when I say I wanna die. And I only say that sometimes. And right now I say I wanna live. I say that I've got more to give. I say that I don't want to die.